So I've been on a road trip and I'm nearly home. On the way up to Childers, I saw this white ute with a whole heap of, I think it was concrete dust all over this ute. And then, as happens when I'm driving and moving through space, I just start thinking of a story about this ute. And then as I drove home from Childers today, I sort of fleshed out the story a bit more in my head. So this is how it goes. And I think it's going to be called Driving Miss Daisy, but I might have to change up the title because that's a bit of copyright there. All right, so we're at the story begins at a concrete plant, quite a big one in this city. There's 40 concrete workers that work there. They've got the mixing machines. They have trucks coming in and out all day, and there is a new guy, like apprenticeship age. He's in the little demountable office talking to one of the top managers who's on the phone. And then this, just outside the demountable, this ute, this rickety old bumbling ute just comes in. It's got dust all over it. The black tires are all white because there's just concrete dust on them. There's bits of splash up the side through the white, and then it's just a different white behind the concrete white of the white paint. It's about 10 years old, and then it just pulls up. The dust keeps going past the car as it's stopped, and the young fella inside the demountable office, turns around. He's just received a job. He's like, he knows he's got the job, and he just turns around to the guy on the phone. He goes, who's that? And then the guy on the phone, he says, oh, that's Daisy. Just as he says that, this man gets out of the car and bangs the car on the roof, and just a bit more dust comes off where his hand hits it. And then the young fella turns around and goes, you sure that's Daisy? And he's like, the guy on the phone leans forward, yeah, that's Daisy, yeah. And then the guy that hit the roof, he just walks off into the yard of concrete chaos. Trucks flying around, noise, dust, water, aggregate, everything. And then the young fella just keeps looking at the ute, and he's like, that's a special ute. And then there's the aluminium tray on the back is a bit bent. It looks like it's had aggregate in it from time to time. Suspension looks broken, but it's still just a solid car. And like I said, white tires, white rims, the dust, you can see it on the dashboard. And then the guy behind the phones, the manager, he's like, oh yeah, that's Daisy. The other guy's Ben, but Daisy's the car. And he's like, oh, okay, so do you name all the cars around? He goes, nah, that's just Daisy's special. She's been here for quite some time now. We could have got rid of her maybe 6 years ago. We claim most of Daisy on tax, but we're keeping Daisy. She's a good girl. And then the young guy's like, oh, okay. And then he just keeps staring at it, and the guy behind the phones, he's like, he can see that there's some interest there, so he's like, okay, I better fill this little young fella in. And he goes, that was Ben that got out. And the reason he's so happy today, as you could probably see, is because it's his anniversary. The young fella says, anniversary of what? Has he been working here a year or something? He goes, no, it's been a year since he got married. And let me tell you about how he got married. So Daisy there, I've got to fill you in a bit more about Daisy. We've had Daisy for about 10 years now. We should have got rid of her a while ago because we could have claimed a better, newer ute with our tax money. But we just love Daisy because she's just reliable. We never have to fix her, but we book her in every year to get fixed. We've all driven her. We've put aggregate in the back. The managers go out to what do you call them, contracting, or to contract jobs. They also use Daisy to go out to quoting jobs, to do quotes. And she's got a tiny little logo on the side, but you can't see it because it's got white over the top, concrete dust. And yeah, we've had Daisy forever. Everyone's driven her, like the mixer guys that have breakdown stuff. Most of them have driven Daisy. All the managers have. You'll probably drive Daisy, and probably this week sometime when you go to get us lunch or something. Daisy's just special. She's been here forever. She's going to be here for a lot longer as well. So anyway, what you need to know about Daisy is she's special. We always book her in. We treat her hard, but we're nice to her. She's always booked in. She's always looked after. You know, I'm warning you now, like if you mistreat her, like she's dinted up, but if you mistreat her, you won't be popular among the boys. And then the young fella's, oh, okay, be nice to Daisy. Got it, no worries. And then the manager goes, oh, let me tell you about Ben as well. So the reason he's so happy today is because how would he say this? So Ben is, he's sometimes on, he's just like a runabout. He's what you might be in a couple of years. But Ben is a really solid bloke as well. He's definitely not the manager, he's not the owner, but he can answer phones. He's a bit of a runabout. He's got his truck license. He can turn up to a job if one of the blokes is not on a mixer. He'll jump on the mixer. He knows every part of this plant. He's a really respected guy, and he sort of takes care of Daisy, which is probably not the biggest job on site, like, but you know, we respect Ben, we respect Daisy. So they're two people, two entities. He didn't say the word entity. Two things you should respect on this work site is Daisy and Ben, and turning up on time. And the young fella's like, rightio, and he's just not convinced really. The manager steps in and just keeps pushing at this story. Says, well, anyway, it's Ben's anniversary. That's why he's happy. What happened a year ago is Ben is always booked in to take Daisy to the. He does the booking and takes her to get a wash, but like, because he's such a runabout, like anybody might get a turn at taking Daisy for a wash on a Friday. And it's a bit of a joke amongst the staff, because Daisy gets, even if she's not getting used, she's sitting out the front of this demountable, she would, oh, I've got something in my eye, she would just get dust and shit, and every time a truck goes past, more dust, she just sits there and she's like she's working all week, just getting dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. And then on Friday, without fail, if no one else is available, Ben will pick her up, drive her downtown, give her a wash, and it's a bit of a joke, because for the 15 minutes from the wash back to here, it's the only time she's clean, but it's like a real special time for her. And every time, Ben will often get us lunch on a Friday, so Daisy might be out for, you know, two hours max. She'll go out, she'll get lunch, she'll get driven around by Ben, get lunch, get washed, come back. So like 2 hours, 2.5 hours max is how long Daisy is clean for a week. But anyone that gets to drive her to get lunch and to get a wash, it's like a real special time, because you don't have to really work too much, and you get to be in this special car that is clean for only the time that you're in it and out and about. As soon as you drive back through the gates with the trucks, within about 15 to 16 seconds, that dust starts piling up, gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and within 3 hours she just looks exactly the same as she always looks, caked in white concrete dust and splashes of water, and just like, you look at her now, that's what she looks like, and that's what she's going to look like next, you know, after she gets back from her next wash. So yeah, so Ben went out, and Daisy is so special that when people see her out, when the mixers are out, the concrete mixers, and the drivers, and even the people that don't work for our business, you know, some of the other contractors around, if they see Daisy out and about, they'll just give her their little wave like this. But if any, and she's just a special girl. And then if it's a Friday and you see Daisy out and about and she's clean, it's just like no one else in the city would know. They just look at her and go, that's just a clean ute. That's not even a clean ute, that's just a ute. Whereas if you work in the industry, you know that Daisy is, she's like clean as a daisy. And you're just like, or fresh as a daisy. That's what I'm called the story, fresh as a daisy. Fresh as the daisy border. And then, so everyone in the industry is like, knows Daisy. Oh, Daisy's washing day. And so if you see Daisy on her wash day, it's more special than just a little wave, because that's just a little wave would be any day when you see her out on a contracting job or whatever. But if you see her clean, it's like it's special. Like you might go, you might go all year and not see Daisy clean. So if you see her like burp, burp, and yeah, the mixer trucks will like give her a big old beep of the horn and a proper wave, hey. And then as she comes back through the gates when she's clean, like anyone that's on site, all the truck horns go burr, 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 burr. And anyone that's just in the vicinity will, like, if you're there, you get it. If you're not there, you won't. You're just unlucky. But you'll like stand and just like make a little bit of an aisle either side of Daisy. So because sometimes there's like 6 people there, some there's 2, but they're like, if they're in the vicinity, they'll come and like wave Daisy in back to the demountable, and like a bit of an aisle, and then back to the demountable. And then young fella's listening to all this, and he's like, all right, fucking Daisy, special car, got it. And then the young fella's like, so what's his anniversary of? He got married a year ago, so can you tell me more about that? And he's like, yeah, so he got married. So what happened is, when you drive Daisy and Daisy is clean, nobody else in this city can see it, but you feel special. Like, Daisy's only clean for 2 hours, and you get to drive this. It's just like, it's special. And what happened is, Daisy and Ben went out for. Ben's the person that's taken Daisy. He's the default guy that will go get lunch and wash her. So he was out, and this lady in a Porsche, she rocked up, and she's on one of the. She's a special lady as well. And I don't know how to say this politely, but she's a little bit out of, just a little bit out of Ben's range. So she's driving a Porsche. It was a gunmetal grey Porsche, personalised plates, and unbeknownst to Ben, this lady, she was on one of the big contracts we're working on, and so to politely put, like a little bit out of Ben's not wheelhouse, a little bit out of Ben's scope. Very good looking lady. You might be lucky enough to meet her lady. Very successful. And but anyway, Ben rocked up to get takeaway. His Porsche was there, and the way that Ben got out of the car, you just saw how he got out of the car. He's a special guy in a special car. And the way he got out, as he tells us, is the way he always gets out, like proud as punch, happy that he's in Daisy, like just beaming and just oozing this confidence. And there was, as he looked across and went in to get the fish and chips, this lady in her Porsche was waiting for her fish and chips, and he just struck up a conversation, and he was just full of information, full of confidence. And on any other day of the week, he probably wouldn't have been. But if you're special enough to go drive Daisy, you just feel special. And what can I say? After that one fish and chip meeting, they hit it off. And bit by bit, he worked out and she worked out that they were working, in the same, not in the same industry, but the concrete our company provides is going into the big job down the road. She's one of the higher ups that's organising that job, and so they got married, and they got married a year ago, and lo and behold, Daisy took them to their wedding. She spent a whole week clean. They used her on the honeymoon. We had to get that past the tax, but it all happened. And so the moral of the story is, Ben. What Daisy gave to Ben was this appreciation and confidence, and that's what brought Ben to the love of his life. And they got married, and here we are. That's the end of the story. Yeah. So if I was to write that, I'd probably change a few things, but that's the basics of the story. I think the ending needs a bit more of a build-up, but also the voice, as in the way that the manager talks. I think that needs some work as well. Not in his tone. I've got the best tone in the world, but in the way he speaks. Like, I would hold back some of that information and speak like a manager at a concrete plant would speak. So intelligent, but straightforward. He wouldn't be as philosophical. So that's what I would work on if I was to write that story out. And I'm calling it Fresh as a Daisy. I don't know, but there was daisies at the wedding. Fresh as a daisy, clean as a daisy, cleaning daisy. Fresh as a Friday daisy, cleaning day. I don't know. Anyway, that's the story. Open to feedback. Needs a bit of work, but that's one I'm not going to have to write out unless I feel like it later on. Thanks for listening. Big Al story. Check it out on the Facebook. No, check it out on YouTube, because that's where I'm putting this, and this is where most of my stuff is. But yeah, Instagram, Facebook is also there. YouTube is where I'm putting the main stories. And although I just said this story straight to the camera, I think it's a good one. It's got some good bones, good fucking fundamental bloody concrete pillars in there, you know. Like this bloke next to me, he's driving a daisy. He's about to go and get petrol. I'm going to show you his daisy. He's looking at me, he's going to fucking knock me out. So, it's a ute. Oh, there's someone in there? No. So it's got... So that's not a daisy, that's a merrill, that one. Yeah, she's rusty as. Holy Jesus Christ. You see that? Yeah, she's a beauty. Absolute beauty. So is he, but he might punch me. All right, I'm out. I'm going to show you my daisy, and you might get to see. I'm back. You might get to see this daisy behind me. So there's my daisy. I left my headlights on. Now we're going in the shop. Check out that daisy there. I think he spotted me. Yeah, my daisy's pretty cool. How you go, mate? It's the day of the Blue Falcons. Check that one out. Not into bloody sedans though at the moment, but check this one out. 2000 Nissan Pulsar. Look at that. I'll give you the walk around. She's got mags, 6-spoke mags, headlights, brake, all the lights work. Bloody number plate light works. Had to bloody get that sorted. Had a little, don't know the story behind this one, but that little dent was there before I got it. Headlights work, high beam, low beam. Roof racks, put the kayaks on them the other day. Good suspension, she'll probably keep wobbling there for a bit. Yeah, she's a good egg. Gonna get rid of her. Get myself a bloody ute of some description. Alright. Thanks for chatting.